moving right to the next segment of tonight's meeting. The main topic for today, political insight. What are your thoughts on cultural child marriage? Alright, so this is a lot. Early marriage or child marriage, defined as marriage before the age of 18. Cool. Some places, guys, you have to be 25 years old to rent a vehicle. So imagine you're allowed to marry before you're allowed to even rent a vehicle. Crazy. It's perceived as a grave violation of human rights. It's a global problem, even though it's prohibited by the Convention of the Rights of the Child and the Convention of the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. Two of the most broadly endorsed international human rights agreements in the last decade, the practice of early marriage declined worldwide from 25% to 21%, so a 4% reduction, and a modest reduction of 15%. Alright, so child marriage is often the result of entrenched gender inequality, making girls disproportionately affected by the practice. Globally, the prevalence of child marriage amongst boys is just 1/6 of that amongst girls. Child marriage robs girls of their childhood and threatens their lives and health. Girls who marry before 18 are more likely to experience domestic violence and less likely to remain in school. They have worse economic and health outcomes than their peers, which are eventually passed on to their children. You know, when you hear about like generational abuse, because you were hurt by your parents a certain way and your children do the same thing and repeat the cycle, kind of like that. Further straining a country's capacity to provide quality health and education services. Turn up your devices, incoming video. Okay, see if I can play this video.
من اسمي سمیه بدم امین الله به مکتب میرفتم صنف 7 بودم در روز بمونده بود که امتحانا سالم نخوابم که برم صنف 8 من عروسی که بکردم دیگه نگذاشتم هرچی که من گفتم میرم به مکتب میرم امی خصوص ما خوشی ما همه گفتن که اگه تو بری به مکتب ما کارا مارکی میکنم موتور بخریدیم و نمیگذاریم هم که گفتم میرم مکتب و شومه و خوشومه و همه من میزدن که تو نمایی که بری به مکتب بعد از عروسی هم می شوهر مخود بود مادر پیش میکرد پیار پیش میکرد این مرمی زد دو میداد باز همه به پدر مادر خود چی نمیگفتم به هیچ کسی چی نمیگفتم باز هم به مو رقم تیر میکردم خود اینا که همه بی سوادم این را هم گفتم موتور نمیگذارم مکتب اگه تو بری کارا ما که میکنه 15 نفر بودن همینجا دیگ به سر دیگ دون بود و همیته همه پونه نامیته اونی اگه بشه شما بریم نگاه کنه خیلی خونه گندی هم دارم از من 2.5 لک بود پیشکش من به می 2.5 لک اون خدا شاهده که پیهن من همال 2 لک 3 لک به خونه نمال کرد بستره بداد طلا به من بداد هرچی به من بدن بداد نه من هرچی میزدم به مشت و به لغت و به چپات که مثلا اثر یا نمونه به جامونه به شلاق چیزا نمیزدن که اثر بمونه همیته به مشت و لغت و هردم من میزدم و دو میدادم فاش میگفتم مکتب خوب همه می دوران طفولیت خورم هستم
حالا چی میخوایی؟
من مکتب خوش دیدم باز هم به می دلیل من میگم سرا مرتیبا کنه ما طلاق نمایم میگم سرا خونه مرتیبا کنه همه رخت لباس ما همه چیز هم تکمیل باشه چی از اینا کم نباشه و باز هم ادامه زندگی میدم از وقتی که شما آمدیم بعد از پدرم خیلی جنگ دعوا میکرد و چه کردیم بندی شد 2 سال میشه که بندی شده بعد از او فعلا هم 4 ماه میشه که بندی شده یعنی 2 سال بندیگیری افستادم برای چه همه کردم طلاق هم بگرفتم از خشاخ اینا اونا هم دارن زندگی خور میکنم من زندگی عادی خور شروع کردم خیاطی میکنم من مادر یک براری دارم برار من فعلا به شرکت مایه بره کار میکنه دیگه کسی نیست از ما که مثلا نوار خونه ما فقط مانه اول خدا بعد از ما برار میینه کلا نمینه پدر ما کارم نمیکرد بله فعلا بیتر شده حالا که پیام نیم خب کل بیتر شده به خاطر از اینکه پیام که بود جنگ دعوا میکرد و چه میکرد اون پولی که ما خیاطی کردی از ما میسون به این واسه از اون لحاظ خیلی خوب خونه دیگه مخیتی مانه که مثلا پرانه که بیارم 200 چه 300 چه 100 رو پشه می فعلا به می محل ما به می کوچی که ما داریم زندگی میکنه 5-6 تا خیتیه ایتنی که فقط ما باشیم به خاطر از اینکه ما نادارتریم و ارزونتر میدیزیم برای ما خیلی میارم بیشتر خیتی و پیشمانه فعلا که از مکتب چیزی گفتن چون که تصمیم قطعی ندارم که برام از دارالفاز دیگه دیپلم خور میگیرم و دارالفاز وا میکنم
Oh boy. Alright guys, so what was your take on that video? Raise your hands guys, this is how this section works. Raise your hand and we'll take in the order and put your hand is raised. Based on the information that we understand, what do you think about cultural child marriages? Do we think that this ancient tradition is something that should be discontinued? We'll see only one hand raised. And just a reminder that when you do raise your hand to speak, you are given 1 minute and 30 seconds after your time is up. Irrespective of how far you reach, you will be stopped. So make your point very quick. And all right, Graham, you can go ahead.
Okay, so respective of time, I believe that that tradition is a thing that shouldn't have even been started in the first place. But seeing as it has been started and it's still currently going on, I don't think it should still be going on in this day and age. Yes, we understand it's a part of poverty and all of that, but it has negative impacts on the person, on the female or whosoever is being married off. Because in her situation, now she's saying that her father is gone, and so what's going to happen when it is that he gets released? He's going to potentially marry her off to somebody else. So I don't think that that's a thing that should still be going on in today's day and age.
Thank you for sharing that. Next person, Tasha, go ahead.
Okay, alright, so as we just saw in the video, when these children are actually married, they miss out on experience, skills, and confidence that are needed in their own individual life. And obviously, she was actually forced to take up things to make a living, and I don't think this is suitable or should even begin, as Rihanna said, in the first place, because when you look at it, these the things and the traumatic things that they have to go through. I mean, the video itself was so sad, and to see that the child actually have to go through so much to just meet society standards is really, I don't know, it's heart rendering. So that's what I really wanted to say.
Thank you so much for sharing. Go ahead, Fernando.
All right. So my takes on it before, when that was relevant, was, let's say, to prevent wars, for the poor family to get help. So yeah, the beauty of the daughter was sacrificed. But in today's day and age, it is not necessary. It's not needed today, regardless of where you are in society. I mean, especially with the access to the world. But yeah, that's all I have to say.
Thank you very much for sharing. Appreciate. Anybody else has anything else to say concerning what child marriages? Do you think it should be discontinued?
Yes, it should be discontinued.
Hold on. Do you think that these parents that do it should be punished harshly, or do you think they should
Yes,
be
they should. Yes,
hold on. Do you think also these children, the victims, should be compensated? Like when they sue somebody and they pay out to get compensated for their trauma.
I don't think compensation would do any good for them, honestly.
You really don't think compensation would do anything?
They lost it now. These kids, remember, they are kids. They are being raped because it's basically rape. They can't consent to having sex, so they are being raped.
No, but it's not just rape. It's a whole child marriage.
They are being robbed of their childhood.
You're being robbed of education. Payment can send them back to school. Payment can set up their independence. these things. But
It,
nonetheless, if you
yeah,
have
and it can
anything to
help
say,
with
hold on,
with
Spencer,
counseling.
1 second. Anything to say, just raise your hand. I will tell them in order, so we don't have this talking over person. The questions I was asking was rhetorical to jog your mind to see if you have anything else to say. All right. Karine, go ahead.
Good night, everyone. I've actually watched this video, and the thought that came to me was this child. Well, she lost her childhood for one. She was forced to become an adult within the age of, I would say, her teenage years. Luckily, she did not have a child during that process. But I listened to you, JD, and I'm thinking of being compensated. That is one. But looking at it deeply, these children would be affected mentally. Would they even get a chance to finish their education? Because if you're mentally in a mental state, right, how are you going to focus? To get yourself at a better place. It needs more than just being compensated. They need literal help. Psychologists, whoever, they are going to need strong assistance, not just to be compensated to say, this will take them through school. They're going to need to take them out of that country because they're going to look at other persons, maybe relatives or friends of theirs going through the same thing over again. That culture, they just won't change. That is what they're used to, right? And I'm sure their probably parents or grandparents have gone through the same situation. Their culture will just not change unless they move out of that situation, move out of that country, period, before any change can happen. It is just really a sad thing. These things, and I don't even think it will ever change because that's all they know. Unless they go to a different country and see new things, you understand, they won't have a fighting chance. So it's just really sad that they're going through this.
Thank you, Sarah, because you would your minute and 30 seconds was finished. So thank you very much for your input.
Thank you.
I see that Fernando has his hand raised again. I'm gonna take Dalvin and then I'll come back to you, alright? So go ahead, Dalvin.
Good night, ladies and gents. My take on this is, of course, it shouldn't be happening. And in this young lady's case, I think that her father is basically a lazy sloth, and because he doesn't want to work, because he is just worthless, he decided to treat his daughter as an object. And a lot of, well, to my knowledge, a lot of the parents, the families in those regions, that's what they do because they know that's an option. However, there are some that, I'm not condoning this, as I said first, that it shouldn't be happening, but what some do, and the successful ones, they make sure that whoever they are giving their daughter to, and I said give like they're treating their family like objects, but I'm not going to get into that. Whoever they give them to, they make sure that it's a good family so that their child or children won't need to go through something like that. And that's my take on the matter.
Thank you very much. Sylvia, if you don't mind waiting on one more time, I would like to go before you. I do think that the situation, it will have lasting effects. So even if you get them out of it, they will still have like trauma from it to deal with in the future and such and such. I understand. Some persons, I'm not sure where it comes from, but some cultures believe that as soon as a female, a girl, sees her first menstrual, has her first menstrual cycle and has her menses and those stuff, then she's a woman. In their eyes, even if she's not physically finished developing and her brain and all those stuff still developing, they believe that that's a sign that she's now a woman, right? So in their mind, they're like, oh, you're a woman, you can get married and such. But I think it is very, and very outdated tradition that more eyes need to be placed upon, because it's ruining lives and it's ruining families. Because sometimes these girls grow into women, and when they have children of their own, because of how they were oppressed and beaten down, they don't even have the confidence sometimes to stand up for their own partners to say, hey, I don't want this for my child. And they're so used to it that, even though they hate it, they think they have no choice, and it continues to cycle over and over. For persons that are involved, that's both the parents or parent that's selling the child or allowing it to happen, as well as the other set of parents, like the in-laws that are receiving it. I think they should be punished, not just to serve time in jail, but also some compensation. And I think more needs to be done to relocate these persons. Like they shouldn't be, they're out of the marriage but still live in this area, because then they're vulnerable. But if their ex-husband or their father wants to take it out on them physically or any kind of way, I think systems need to be put in place, or procedures or agencies to help them relocate and start over, and also giving them the tools they need. But also, even if we give them a sentence, I still think they should be charged as well, to compensate, because you've injured this person physically, emotionally. You've stolen their childhood, and you set them back. This is their lives that you're treating as if, I own you because I'm your parents. I own you. I can do what I want with you. That's not how it works. So I do think more of those need to be in place. There may be already existing systems and procedures in place, but I think more needs to be put in place, and rehabilitation into society, meaning educating these girls and boys, because they did mention that it does happen for boys, it's just more prevalent in females. It needs to be more rehabilitation, education-wise, mentally, emotionally, so that they can try and find a way to just overcome it. Someone asked in the comment, what happens after the 2 years when her father is released from prison? I don't, honestly, we're not even able to tell, because is he just gonna come home as if nothing happened? Who knows? Did they completely relocate from wherever they were living? Is her mom and her other siblings living somewhere else? Is her mom divorced from her father? Some of these questions we don't know, because even if let's say you break up the illegal marriage, if you're still in the same abusive setting, the home, then it's abuse going on just in a different way. Go ahead, Sylvia.
Yeah, and yes, in this case, in that specific situation, I mean, she did mention that her dad never worked, and then obviously he deserved to be fined, because normally it's the reason why these things happen. It's as I said, to prevent wars. It has to have a meaning. It's not just okay, I can do this for money. No, if a dad is struggling, to take the family out of poverty, to join two families, two companies, business related, but this man is taking his daughter for a product, and he deserves it. And as it relates to whether he can come back and then enter in the home, I mean, he serves no purpose. If he's abusive, he has no value in the home. So
Thank you very much. Go ahead, Ashley, and Ashley will take Graham, and we'll close out this section. Go ahead, Ashley. Remember your 1 minute 30 seconds on the clock.
But the real questions you had asked, yes, I think it should be scrapped. It shouldn't have even been a tradition in the first place, because as everyone is saying, it's traumatizing to the child. She lost her childhood. As you can see, she was literally on the verge of tears. And her father should have gotten way more time than that. Not because he's her father, it means he is supposed to do that. That's literally just taking her as a puppet.
Thank you very much for sharing. Graham, go ahead. 1 minute is on the clock. So go ahead.
Yeah, I'm saying that even though we're talking about this, another thing is to be taken into consideration. Even though this specific young lady didn't have children, there are many others who are in the same situation who end up having children at young ages. And you know that sometimes because the organs are not fully developed, that sometimes leads to death in childbirth. So all of that could have been avoided if it was just, if that tradition or if that practice wasn't still being used, because I'm pretty sure a lot of unnecessary deaths have happened over or because of these child marriages. And then even if they do live, the child will then sometimes, depending on how the person deals with it, hurt people. So sometimes the child will end up being a product of abuse, or even end up suffering abuse from the hand of the same parent who was abused.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing. And thank you guys for participating in this section of the meeting.